Let's try this again. Hey, what's up, folks? Dan Dillman. Want to say hello to you. Good evening. I was just talking to myself a minute ago because I'm trying this new software, and this new streaming software is getting me to multiple channels at one time. So just checking to see if anyone is out there watching, and there's a link. Looks like I got one thumbs up. Okay, so somehow I'm using this third-party software called Ecamm. And so for anyone else out there looking for a solution, I've been researching solutions for streaming to multiple destinations. So Facebook and my YouTube channel at the same time, because I was doing multiple lives, and I don't know. Bottom line is one software to do it all. Bam. Hand pink waving. Sweet. All right. I am able to see when there's a comment, at least. So there may be a link for you to click that's going to allow you to comment. So we're talking about Atlantis, a lost civilization. Is it a lost civilization? How can it be lost if we know about it? And there's so many things to say. Obviously, most people have heard of Atlantis through Plato, but there are connections to the Aztec, the Inca, and the Maya. In fact, the root of the name Atlantis, what language does that come from? And besides myself, there are other researchers who have looked hard and deep into the root of the name Atlantis, and they have to look to the Western Hemisphere. You have to look to Mesoamerica, because the Aztecs and the Maya, it's their root for Aslan and Atlantis. So there is this connection. Let's see, Dennis Chandler, I found you from Terry Carter Show. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Appreciate you following. I'm trying to, start to do a little more streaming, sharing some of our thoughts and ideas. When I say our, my family, my grandfathers, my uncles, myself, and sharing our research about the treasure. And although Montezuma's treasure is kind of our main theme, the thing that we've been searching for generations, it's far greater than just gold and silver and jewels. Our treasure hunt is for truth and for unraveling history and bringing alternative history to you. So, when I say alternative, this may be, in fact, the real history opposed to what has been taught. And as we know, depending on what generation we're in, whether that's our generation or Galileo or any of these cats who came before us who started bringing new ideas, they weren't always accepted at the time. But then later and down the line, after a few generations, we find out, hey, it's the real deal, what he was talking about or what we're talking about. James Palmer, what's up, my brother from another mother. James and I are going to be getting together. We're both into, multifaceted. So besides being a treasure hunter, I'm a mystic. We'll use that word. My grandfather was a medicine man, mystic. And so also a paranormal and UFO investigator. I mean, I've been involved in all of this stuff since I was a little kid. James, my good buddy, is also into paranormal investigating and filming. And so we're going to get together. We've got this location that is It's got some activity happening that we're going to get to together and film. So we'll share that with you guys. So let's get back to it. Atlantis, a lost civilization, absolutely not lost. I say forgotten. Atlantis was a forgotten civilization, and I'm convinced that Atlantis was a global civilization. It had global technology. I believe it's the Atlantean technology that is the pyramids. It's where the Aztecs say they came from, the Inca, the Maya. All of them have a similar story too. They have, whether it's Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, Viracocha, these are the three main gods or God who physically appeared to them and taught them the ways of technology and mathematics and astronomy and, and peaceful government structure, all of that stuff. And so it could be hypothesized that Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, and Viracocha is the same person. It could, and I don't think that's a far stretch. It appears to be the same deity, the same description, the feathered serpent, the man being coming in human form and coming to them on a craft. You can consider that a spacecraft or a ship, and that came and taught them. But he was most likely of from Atlantis. And I'm going to drink some coffee here. Let's see, anything? Yes, sir. Right on. Thank you, James. If you've got any questions, feel free to throw them in there. But this is just another one of my tests with this new streaming software enabling me to get to multiple places at one time. But there is a deep connection with the Aztec in Atlantis. And like I said, one of those connections is the name itself. And there's a guy named Manly P. Hall. Some of you may know who that is. He's I think he was a 33-degree Mason. And if he wasn't an actual Mason, he was an honorary one. And this dude was, an esoteric writer, and he wrote on so many different things. And he pulled in lots of research and stories as well. And Helen Blavatsky, she's another mystic she's from the Theosophy teachings. Anyway, it's late and I'm drinking coffee. So there is a lot of information in modern times about Atlantis and about its connection to Mesoamerica, really its connection to the Aztecs. And then pyramids. Let's just keep it real. Pyramids are clearly a global, universal technology. Now today, at least what I remember as a kid, they tried to say that the pyramids were tombs where kings were buried. But as far as I know, they've never found any kings buried in the pyramids. They found King Tut in his tomb, but that wasn't in a pyramid. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so, these pyramids served a different purpose, and it was global. And so and it wasn't from 5,000 years ago. The Egyptians say they were there before they got there. The Aztecs say their pyramids were there before they got there. They were there, and it wasn't the Olmecs who built them. Don't get me wrong. Olmecs were badass, and the Toltecs were badass as well. But these technologies, these pyramids existed for tens of thousands of years, who knows, could be longer, before they ever came into that area, right? The Aztecs say they came from the north and came into Mesoamerica. But here's the deal. My idea is that Atlantis was a global power, global. And like we have separate states now and separate countries, they still had individual, probably areas and states, clearly, but it was still a universal technology. So just like we have a federal government and then we have the states, consider Atlantis like this federal government that existed, this federation of civilization that was highly advanced and spread their technology throughout the globe. And that really gives you the picture of Atlantis. And then how you have someone like Quetzalcoatl, Viracocha, and Kukulkan coming to these other areas of the world and setting up the sciences, the technology, the pyramids. So it's not a far stretch, but again, Atlantis. Is it lost? I say it's not lost. I say that civilization is overall, it was destroyed, but like everything, basically the Great Flood. And this is where we bring the Great Flood into it. So I'm convinced the pyramids existed before the Great Flood, and Atlantis was the civilization before the Great Flood. And we have from the Orient, so from Asia or China, the East, the West, the North, the South, all remnants, all cultures have the Great Flood story. And it is universal. It's the same story. We have a very universal creation story too, talking about with the Aztec and the Hopi and other civilizations that we came from the seven caves or came out from the underworld into Earth as we know it, you and I now. So it's a lot to consider, but there are threads, there are dots to connect, and there are threads for us to string together in regards to Atlantis being a real place. So like I told you about Plato. Plato was kind of first on the scene in 428 to 348 BCE in sharing his stories. Plato was a Greek philosopher. We have in recent times a congressman who went. So I want to mention some notable historic people who have either searched for Atlantis or spoke on Atlantis. And we have a congressman from the 1800s, Ignatius Donnelly, I think his name was. And he was an American congressman and a writer and an amateur historian who actually, I can't even talk, who made popular Atlantis. And he wrote about it and as a historical reality. And the same with Plato. People say that, Plato was just telling stories. The Aztecs weren't telling stories. So, you can only discredit, discredit one person. Oh, they're full of crap. And this guy's is coming with Atlantis and it can't be the real deal. But reality is that we have too many notable historic individuals and cultures, civilizations who say it's real. And this is where they came from. And so to discredit that would be ridiculous. And look, the technology is not just computers and software. The technology is, they just discovered, right? I don't know if you guys heard in the news, they just discovered a brand new Maya city. Urban, and they're saying it's the first urban city ever. All designed. Man, there is nothing new under the sun, okay? What is even being taught probably in college today is similar to the urban city development that they were teaching back then. So these scientists are using LiDAR most likely and discovered through the jungles an entire city complex, urban city, where they say, goes back, 2,500 years, could be longer, but they're just discovering. So let me remind everyone about this as well. They are just discovering a city, massive city in 2023, 2024. that hasn't been seen for 2,500 years. So really what that means to me to share with you is things are still out there waiting to be discovered. This wasn't in the ocean. This was in the jungles of South America. 2,500 years, new city. I may have said this before. Recently, scientists came out and said, oh, we just discovered the Maya water filtration technology. It's better than ours today, or advanced as ours. Excuse me. And they were filtering water then. Again, we want to believe we're so advanced, but let me tell you something. We can't build the pyramids. Not with today's technology that is at least released to the people. Now, maybe there are some scientists and quantum physicists and astrophysicists who know how to activate Earth's magnetic field and to use that, or to activate things at the quantum level to get levitation happening, or technology utilizing, some of the things that I hypothesize about, Mercury and magnetic fields and power sources and how, anyway. I'm rambling, but I love to ramble apparently. Don't know. Listen, is anyone? I can't tell 100% with this software if I got people. Looks like maybe I've got a few people watching. Ring in, let me know that you're watching. And I think, can I add a comment? Let me see here. I want to. Let me see if it'll let me on my computer. If I can access this. Let's see if I can actually send, see if I can send something to you guys. Watch and subscribe to my YouTube channel, if you would, please. And I just shared a link. Hopefully that gets you there to subscribe. There's probably lots of cities that have been covered up that will be rediscovered. There's cities in the USA that they flooded to cover up. Yes, agreed. And, all of these dams that we've built. Now, I get it, damming up the Colorado for water and to feed cities and whatnot. But, that has also stopped the flow to the ocean. And my native brothers and sisters, possibly your native brothers and sisters, they can't get to the ocean anymore. They used to be able to take the rivers to the ocean. And even in Utah, I think, oh gosh, how am I going to forget this? Glenn something. I can't believe I'm forgetting. Normally, who knows? Anyway, where they flooded that whole area, man, ancient ruins, ancient city, to make the dam. And so, yes, there are, and let me tell you something. Right now, I'm in San Leandro, California, so right next door to Oakland, for those of you who aren't in the Bay Area. And a few years ago, actually it's more like 20 years ago, I was digging up my backyard, and I hit a rock, and I went and got the rock, and this rock was this big, and it was man, I'm having memory forgetfulness. Anyway, it was hold on real quick. Well, now I'm gonna make myself look goofy, but oh gosh, I can't believe it that thank you. Obsidian. Whatever. I just turned 51 or 52, or maybe I'm about to be that. No excuses. Anyway, a massive obsidian rock in my backyard that was clearly being used by the natives here. So, so we have things to be discovered, just like this ancient Maya city that was discovered, just is proof that there are things to discover. You hear me say all the time, where is the tomb of Montezuma? So Montezuma's tomb has yet to be discovered, and it will be discovered. We believe that we will discover it. That's what we are searching for, because we also believe within that tomb, besides, of course, being amazing, priceless relics, but is priceless, and immense value of records, ancient records that we're seeking. So soon to be discovered, Hopi prophecy. If you've listened to the Hopi prophecy, then you should know that it appears to be this time. And once again, they're all connected. And let's see, Dennis, our YouTube guy by the name of Florida Marquez has used Google Earth and found pyramids way down in South America. I believe it, man. There is so much to be discovered. Now, with Google Earth, obviously they limit some of that stuff, but there are some amazing stuff on Google Earth. And I've been contacted by some folks. There's even a guy that I need to get back to. Can't remember your name right now, but I will respond to your email. I've just been busy. Who's been sending me stuff on Google Earth. We've used Google Earth as well, and there are amazing places to investigate. And that's one thing that you all should know about me, at least, and my family, is we do all this research in our bat cave, in our homes, and my grandfather's generational research, and uncles and myself. But we get out there boots on the ground. Now, there's a lot of stuff that we don't share publicly about where we are. And there's very few people who know where we go on some of these adventures because, one, we can't reveal this to everyone. We don't want people going and stomping and tearing the places up. And two, until we discover something or unearth it properly, we aren't looking to share all of those places and locations, because there are some crazy folks out there who absolutely will just go gun-ho and they start tearing stuff up. I just read an article where some guy was digging under a petroglyph, and he got busted. And that's another thing too. On the federal lands, man, there's so many special things that are on federal land that are protected that you just, unfortunately, can't be messing around on. What I would do if I was you is I would document the places. I would first attempt to contact, the local authorities, whether that's BLM or, but get a good records and documentations of what you believe you found, and get an archaeologist to check out your research, and maybe you can, get them out there to check it out for you and do things right. It's super important. And unless you've got a deal with someone on private property, then, you should be careful, because you don't want to catch a case and go to jail because you were doing some stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So Atlantis, getting back to Atlantis. Atlantis is a real place, but it was multiple places stretched out across the earth. So I believe that everywhere you have a pyramid is where you had a piece of Atlantis. And so that civilization clearly got wiped out. Now, Plato says, and other folks say, because their technology, they came to a level of not just technology, but they came to a place where material things and self-greed became priority to them. And man, I sure hope that doesn't happen to this civilization, because it's clearly happened several cycles. Like we as humanity get to a place of growth, technology wise, civilization wise, amenities wise, and we then become so greedy that Mother Earth, we'll just put it that way, Mother Earth has shaken many a civilizations off its back. I know someone said that, and it is true. So it's just super important that that we wake up and realize that there's enough for everybody. And I don't have the answers, but I do know that it's going to take each one of us in our microcosm, that as we interact with people, that we do the best we can unselfishly to help each other, and that might be simply recognizing someone, like right now, social media, recognizing someone's post and say, hey, I see it. I try to, when I see stuff come through, man, I may not even know you, really, right? We're Facebook friends, or we're, YouTube friends. I may not really know you, but if you're coming, if I've accepted you as a friend or vice versa, and I see your stuff coming through, I'll like it. And just to recognize that I see you. And hopefully that means something, because it takes effort. So right there's, I'm giving, and the same here with you folks. So I'm slightly getting off topic, but I hope not. And it's important to dream big dreams. It's important to believe in the unbelievable. And what does that mean? It means that, hey, I'm looking for an ancient city that hasn't been found for 2,500 years. Boom, it's found. We're looking for ancient locations, signs, and symbols, specific things, and we find them. We were looking, we were seeking, and we found. And so, Atlantis is found. We are remnants of Atlantis. Atlantis is not lost in that sense, but Atlantis lost its way. The people lost its way. The governments lost their way. And I pray that that doesn't happen again. We have the ability to transcend that. And so there's some cool things I want to share with you guys that about this political system of the Aztecs, and I believe of the Maya too, because it all had to do with their 52-year cycle. And every 52 years, there was a forgiving of debt. Top down, bottom up, top. Complete forgiving of debt every 52 years, like for real. This, for those who think the Aztecs and the Maya were some simpletons or savages, I hope by now, at least through what I share, that shit ain't true. These guys had, again, sciences, mathematics, technology, and access to information that we've forgotten. But they had laws in place that were awesome. Total forgiveness of debt. And it didn't mean that people, they had honor too. So these people weren't like, oh man, I just got to make it through this 52 years and I'm going to be forgiven my debt. No, they worked at actually paying off that debt if they could. But if they couldn't, it was forgiven. And if someone owed you money, it was your duty to forgive them. And if you owed someone some money, yeah, I think I just said that right, then, and you couldn't pay them, it was their duty to forgive you. And so this is badass. We need a little bit of this right now, in my opinion. So, and Sean says that is happening now, man. Which part is happening now? Just because I just seen you post that. Sean Granberry, Hip Hop TV. This dude, I ain't got to tell you, Sean. You're Sean, but he is a super community dude. He's doing stuff for kids in sports. He's doing hip hop TV for the culture. So, anyone who comes from our generation, of the hip hop generation, 70s through today, Sean Granberry's, is holding it down. And much kudos to you, brother, because you are doing your thing, we see you. We see what you're doing for the kids, and we see what you're doing for the culture, man. So love you. Politics. So if politics, if you're talking about the forgiveness of debt, then 100%, man. Let's see it. Let it happen. Jubilee. I think the Israelites or the Jewish folks had Jubilee. So, and that's all connected. And that's another thing too. Ooh, by the way, there is, I wish I had his name written down. That's not what these streams are about. This is more throwing out bits pieces of gold, man, throwing out pieces and little bits of information for you to whatever resonates and grasps with you. But there's this native dude, and basically he's from the Americas. I'll get his name. I'll do another stream on this. But he basically, their oral traditions, and he's Native American. Their oral traditions basically are connected to Phoenician, and so what I'm trying to get at is, man, we are all connected. To believe for a moment that we are not all brothers and sisters on this planet, I say that is ignorance, because we're all human, for what we call human, and just like flowers, I've said this before in some of my other videos on my other channel, is flowers. There are many colors, sizes, and shapes of flowers, but they're all flowers. And humans, they come in many shapes and sizes and colors, but we're all human. Another word for how I break down human is hue, meaning many shades of color of light, and man, which can be translated as being or entity. So by breaking down human itself, could be light being of multiple shades and colors. And so we're all connected. But it's really cool. I like it's the adventurous, mysterious subjects that I dig. The fact that there is a connection to the Aztecs, the Egyptians, the Inca, the Maya, the Chinese of the East, and the list goes on. Africa, man, dude, some of the wisdom from oh gosh, how am I? Because not just Egyptians, the Kemites. Anyway, a bunch of you will know for sure. Oh, let's see. Hold on, we got Eric saying something. Morgado. What you talking about, Eric? I come from the line of Eber. Okay. I am from Sumer, the Sun Kings. Amen, brother. Amen. And we defeated the Council of Nimrod, the men of the name. Now with this streaming software, I have the power, by the way, I have the power to bring in guests. And so I want to start doing that. So if you want to get down with me on a live stream and we talk about whatever, specifically, I dig the ancient civilizations and the mysteries and paranormal and UFO and UAP, but we can talk about all kinds of stuff, man. I'm so into spiritual teachings. I'm a food critic. I'm the world's most renowned food critic that nobody knows. Bring me down, Daniel. Bring me down. We will. Shit, Eric, you got so much knowledge up in your crown chakra. I'm scared for people to hear what you got to say, brother. I'm not really scared. I'm excited, really. So the bottom line is look, Atlantis, it's a real place. You know what's a trip? It was when I was a kid. I used to, write Atlantis, right? Heard about Atlantis. Me and my brother, my other brother from another mother, Danny Bell, we did Tommy the Turtle, and we made him from Atlantis, from the magical land of Atlantis. And so, man, Atlantis has been resonating with me forever. I have, I don't know how many of you are into potential past lives, because I have a few theories on past lives or previous incarnations. I don't want to say it is this way or another, because it wouldn't be right for me to tell someone this is the way it is, because everyone needs to discover that for themselves. But there's no doubt that I have had visions of previous experiences, we'll call it, of being in Aztec kingdom, Egyptian kingdom, something of that nature. Can't say exactly what, but I've had a reoccurring dream, we'll call it, ever since I was a young man. And I won't tell you what the dream is. It's a little personal. It's not that deep, but it's crazy. I also, once again, since this is talking Atlantis, we're talking many different things. We start getting into esoteric because that's just my nature. And so, there is 100%. I personally, at this time, space, and place in my existence, in this three-dimensional realm as this person, believe more in reincarnation than I do in hell. I believe that true God, the true God, God who is the God, beyond all of our ideas of God, is all in all. So first I'll say that. To me, God is all in all. What does that mean? It means all that is or could be is God. Substance, mind, intelligence. And if I was a scientist who didn't want to use the word God, I would say universal field, field of energy, multi-dimensional through all dimensions that science can hatch up and try to, slice up to say exist. That the substance, the universal energy penetrating, emanating, all of that being God. And the best way that I have currently to describe to people the idea, because it's just an idea, but this God is beyond idea, is God is like mind. Oh, so much more than that, but that God is like mind. So, not, let's say, formless, but within mind we have all kinds of forms. And a simple description for me to share with you is to say this, is that when you dream, so if you dream, so you've got to be someone who's had a dream at some point that you remember you dreamed. And in your dream, you dreamed of multiple people and places, conversations, whether off in a distance or face to face. And in those dreams, you saw the people, places, and things. And so, but you were, of course, supposedly laying in your bed, but you still saw all these things with your mind. God is like mind. I know this isn't the best description, but I'm just trying to give it to you simply. I wasn't planning to talk about this, but God is mind, and we and everything else is in the mind of God, that there's nothing else but mind, consciousness, awareness, existence, life, eternal, and we are the individual thoughts. So scripture says we were imaged, made in God's image. And I say my interpretation of that is that we have been made within the imagination of God. Each one of us at our core, having under all the layers of personality and body and then soul, if we could just unwrap and unfold to divine spark, but even we'd have to recognize that in even the divine spark that is the center of us and this true nature, the life, existence, intelligence, and substance, it is also all of those layers we unfolded, because there is no substance, no matter, no ether, no anything outside of God. I used to think that God was, for a minute, that God was a man on a throne. How boring would that be? And how human is that? So anyway, let's see. The Unity Church believes the same doctrine. Daniel, you are a metaphysics student. Why, thank you, sir. Why, thank you. And it's just a way to describe. I know that the God that I'm trying to talk about is still transcends all of my ideas, beyond anything I could truly conceive at. I'm just grasping. But it brings me joy to know that, for me, I'm happy about it, that I am convinced my life is a living example of some divine intervention. And there's no doubt about that. And so I got off on that subject and forgot why the heavens I did that. Oh, because sharing with you multiple incarnations. So what I was getting at is, I don't believe in a burning hell. A loving God is not going to torture you. I mean, you might as well, it would be more loving for you just to poof and no longer be existent or remember that you lived this life. It'd be far more kinder than to torture you. That to me is some bullshit, and not kind and not nice. Now, there are allegories. There are reasons, I believe, for those some of those scriptures and some of that stuff. And in fact, I believe more that this life can be your hell if you allow it to be. If you allow it to be. And I think this is about as rough as it gets. This is about as dense as it gets. This is about as heavy as it gets. It doesn't mean there's not other levels of adventure and things and learning and mysteries. Hell, if there weren't, I think we'd be bored, because even at our spark divine level, we wouldn't be here right now having the experience if we didn't want it. So I say we want this experience. All right, and taking it back to Atlantis, these guys were super advanced, and we are going to prove. I think as things unfold, we're going to continue to find evidence of Atlantis. There's even a possibility, I'll drop a hint, there's even a possibility that some of the Atlantean, and I would say the good guys and the ones who were not about the wickedness or selfishness or self-destruction, those cats still are around us. And in fact, some of the UFOs, some of the unexplained aerial phenomena that we experience is in fact remnants or Atlantean people. And the Antarctica is absolutely a place where, should I say it, where they are going into the earth. Because all of the legends and myths of the earth within the earth, I believe, also have some great credibility. And the Antarctica is absolutely a mysterious, wonderful place. We know, as a matter of fact, it's a fact that there is a beautiful, wonderful paradise under that ice. Do you know that? I'm sure some of you do, right? Let's see. New Atlantean centers will be activated from the Bermuda Triangle, Great Salt Sea, and Jerusalem, Hebron, which are already known as pyramid areas by the higher evolution. Super immune builders. Thank you so much. I agree. And I'm glad you mentioned the Bermuda Triangle, because there's no doubt there must be a pyramid, or there must be some energy field clearly happening there. And without a doubt, there are portals. Man, this technology here that I'm trying to use, and this is my first night of doing this, is going to allow me to, matter of fact, I'm going to try it right now. Look, and I think it was 2012, there was a portal that opened up. And I'm going to see, this should let me hit the web. Let's first launch the web here. I believe it's going to let me do the web. Hang tight. Let's close. Actually, let's copy that and close that. And did I remind you guys to please subscribe to my YouTube and, of course, all the other channels here. I think this is going to let me hit the web. Let me just find this really quick. 2012 portal blue. Let's see what we get. I'm about to show y'all something that I'm sure some of you, okay, I know what we need to do. Here it is. And I'm pretty sure it was Norway. Yes. All right. Bam. Here we go. I should be able to, let's go to images, and here, and here. Oh gosh, I don't want that. Bear with me, folks, bear with me. I'm about to pull this up. Should be able to open image and tab. Let's get a good one. Let's get a good one here. Man, it should be much easier than this. Here we go. Tools, size, large. Bam. All right, here we go. Great. Hold on, team. I'm trying to get this up for us. All right. I think this is gonna work. Let's give it a whirl. Web. Bam. All right. So I need to get better at this. But this right here is this. For me, I say it's a portal. 100%. This portal opened up in Norway. Yeah, I was correct. It says right there. Light in the sky over Norway. 7:50 a.m. local time. This was when Obama, they tried to say it was a missile. They tried to say that this was a missile. Let's see. Well, let me be here. Okay. Are you guys still with me? Dan, bring me on. Yeah. Okay, well, we will, brother. We'll schedule it. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm just saying I got the technology, so we need to test it. So, matter of fact, we can connect, not tomorrow. We got a show tomorrow, but Saturday, Eric, we can chop it up, and we can do a test, and then we can make some magic happen. All right, so this spiral, we'll call it a spiral. This is a portal, and this was a portal that was opened up. Absolutely. They say it was, now the news eventually said that it was a rocket that was launched in the area and spun out of control and just perfectly made this spiral. For me, I say bullshit, because our president was flying in the air as he was coming into Norway. I think he was coming to get his Nobel Peace Prize. And so you're telling me that some nation shot rockets into the airspace of the president of the United States? That would be an act of war. That didn't happen. This was a portal. In fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that all those leaders of the world were probably meeting with either some extraterrestrial brothers or some Atlantean brothers and sisters, and having communication. Let me see if I can bop back out of here. Bam. Okay. I don't know if I'm back. Hopefully I'm back. Man, I've been talking for a minute. 47 minutes. I've been talking too much, folks. Anyway, so I'm convinced that there are absolutely portals, and that this stuff exists. Of course, back in the day, Orson Welles tried to do a radio show talking about the aliens are here, they've landed. People were jumping out their windows and killing themselves, which was not cool. They weren't ready for that. But we've had, Eric Von Daniken, starting out with his stuff, Ancient Aliens, man, kudos to Giorgio and the team at Prometheus, because those shows being out for so long has got people, a majority of people are no longer scared of this reality, of the possibility of space, brothers and sisters. Now, of course, I'm only using those words, possibility and whatnot, because I don't tell you anything is definitive for you and your experience. I can only speak for myself and my experience. And my native ancestors have absolutely said, man, there are some star brothers and sisters, and we've met with them and dealt with them. And absolutely, Montezuma 100% was in communication with higher powers, spiritual, and possibly celestial, and we could talk about that. But getting off subject, let's see, super immune builders. Whom humanity's last temptation is a test to see if we will worship the lower space gods that suddenly appear with mighty powers up on our planet, or whether we will work with the lords of light. Man, I I sure hope that people realize that 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 it is absolutely a spiritual reality. The brothers and sisters of light, if anyone is trying to rule anyone, if anyone is trying to control anyone, then those aren't the dudes for me, and they shouldn't be the people for you. And nobody should be worshipped. Listen, no man, even the wisest sages of the ages who appeared from the invisible to the visible, Christ, Lao Tzu's, Buddhas, these teachers, even Christ said, hey, no, you ain't gotta, no need to worship me. So if anyone is coming here talking about worship me, or if anyone gets it twisted and starts worshiping space beings, I highly suggest to knock it off, because we are all sons and daughters of the all wonderful existence of that eternal light. So yeah, I'm with you. Who respects us as species, liberate us, and openly acknowledge a divine God? Hey man, there's no doubt about it to me. Listen, for those of you also, I'm going to tell you something. Suzanne Summers, if you're from my generation or older, you know who Suzanne Summers is. Chrissy from Three's Company. Who didn't love Three's Company? Her husband just was in the news and reporting that the day that Suzanne transitioned, that a hummingbird, and isn't that a spiritual sign, a hummingbird came into his house. Now that part, you could say, oh, the hummingbird got into his house. The hummingbird came over and landed on the picture of him and his wife. Now, this dude loves and misses his wife. He didn't even believe, as far as I remember reading the story, he doesn't even believe in an afterlife before what goes down here. And this hummingbird lands on the picture frame of him and Suzanne. And I think he said there was something else that had happened, and then their favorite song started playing, her favorite song. And so there are signs and activity happening from your loved ones who have transitioned. We only need to be aware and receptive in the waking state, what I call, we're awake. But our loved ones will come to us in dreams. A matter of fact, it is my brother Ray Deloney's birthday tomorrow. I just recognized him on Facebook. Ray Deloney was my best friend that we met in preschool. And, we're both born in the 70s and 72. And was he born in 71? He was, yeah, we're both 72 because he was just birthdays earlier. Anyway, now we're best friends, and he has come to me many times in my dreams. Many times to me in my dreams and spoken with me. And so I'm convinced, and I've had many others, my great-grandparents. So as you could tell, this has turned into far more than Atlantis, but it also encompasses Atlantis, because what is Atlantis? Atlantis is a remembrance of this higher technology, not just physical technology, but the Atlanteans could communicate mentally. Their psychic abilities were far more available to them in those times, before the corruption, before they kept on, we can call it sin, but sin just means missing the mark, right? Any of you who have ever heard the word sin or don't like going to church because, oh, I'm tired of them. And man, I was too. I guess I am too. Tired of people saying, man, you're a sinner. You're a sinner. Sin, when you go to translate, just means you missed the mark, man. Like when you shoot an arrow. Whew, I didn't hit the bullseye. I messed up, but guess what? We get to try again. So what I'm really getting at is that life is mysterious, life is wonderful, and life is an adventure. I'm going on adventures. I'm also holding it down for the things you guys know that I do. how we do shows and stuff in the Bay Area, and how we do stuff in Utah and our adventures. But I am on a mission for truth, and there's so much more to talk about, but I don't want you guys to be bored with me. Please let me know what you want to talk about. Again, and Eric, I got you. I'm going to have guests come on with me and we can talk about stuff and kick stuff around. I want to try my best that, we can touch on things that may touch a nerve with folks. But, I also want to try to keep it adventurous, mysterious, positive. But who knows where this can go. And there's nothing wrong in my opinion. I'm a very spiritual dude, but I also absolutely love sitting with my wife and watching TV shows. So man, I'm gonna share with you. At times I may share with you some great food places, some shows that I enjoyed, and other stuff. So that's it. I'm just gonna keep it rocking and rolling. But more mysterious stuff, more information on Aztec, Inca, treasure, Atlantis, discoveries, realities. Matter of fact, I want to talk to you guys about the Anunnaki and give you guys my opinion, my theory, because everyone is only kicking theories. Even when we're reading the Sumerian tablets, and no matter who you got your information from, it's our interpretation of those things. So we'll be doing a show on the Anunnaki. We'll be doing something more on the Antarctica and Admiral Byrd. We'll be discussing cosmic stuff, celestial stuff, terrestrial stuff, and getting it going. All right, so let's see here. Awesome channel, Dan. Thank you, Ben. I want to make sure, I'm going to scroll back here and just make sure. Mr. PH30, so when those two tribe did it, Aztecs and others also the same. Here, let's go up here. Mr. PH30. So I'm just scrolling through some of the comments that I had missed because I was talking so damn much. I need to go back and recognize you guys here. So Mr. PH30. Helgens found the tribes of reindeer eaters, Indians in Canada, and Apaches in Arizona a long time ago and had been same tribe before they migrated each direction. Linguistics and history was the same. I agree with you that they were all originally from Atlantis. They came from this previous world that was destroyed. And they all came traveling, and some started saying, hey, man, I'm going to eat the deers. And I'm like, man, I don't eat deers. I just eat the vegetation. And other family members are like, man, we're going to start, eating people. And they're like, you know what, cousin? You go do that. We're going to keep on rolling. So I agree with you, Mr. PH30, in the sense that we all have this common source and connectivity. And we need to recognize that connectivity. Let's make sure I didn't miss anyone else I didn't say hello to. All right, I'm just scrolling through. I think I've made sure to recognize folks who made a comment. And have you read the book 2012 Return of Quetzalcoatl? I have not. I know this is going to sound crazy to you, but I don't read many books. But I do hear of certain things, and then I meditate. And in all reality, I get a lot of cosmic download. There are some things, it's been my whole life, that I will, if I'm a hustle and bustle, I'm not much of a manual reader for technology or those things. It's more put my hands on it. And my brother says this all the time. He says, I let it speak to me and tell me how it wants to be worked. And a lot of the times that's what I'm doing even with these things. Listen, I hear, my grandfather was such a wise dude, and he shared so much stuff. But I also don't want to lie and say everything is my grandfather's idea, because a lot of things have been from things he said to me. And as I've grown up, I've meditated. Like I said, I was the first one who asked him. I don't think he may have asked the question. I was like, where's the tomb of Montezuma? Where if Montezuma was this great emperor and king, where is his tomb? Like I said before, because I was so into reading the encyclopedia or whatever it was with King Tut and his tomb's discovery of King Tut, and I was just like, well, where's the tomb of Montezuma? If he was dead and killed, like everyone says he was, man, there ought to be a monument or a tomb, and there's not. So no. So see, I'm long-winded. The answer is I have not read that book, but there's no doubt, because keep this in mind: Jesus Christ coming back. Jesus Christ said he would return. Quetzalcoatl said he would return. Kublai Khan said he would return. Viracocha said he would return. Now, either these were all the same man who appeared to these civilizations, to these cultures, or they could have even been, but they sound the same. I mean, they sound the same. And when you say feathered serpent, a lot of my Christian brothers and sisters who are, super tied to Scripture might consider, like, oh man, serpent, winged, feathered serpent. But really, when you think about it, and of course, I'm not telling you what to believe, but when you think about the serpent, Jesus Christ said, be wise as the serpent and as what? Gentle as the dove. And so you've got feathers and you've got serpent. This was a wise man, period, right? And, there are so many different things and that we can break down about what was said about Quetzalcoatl or Kublai Khan or Viracocha. Some stories kind of say that he had scales on him, and he was, but that could have been his clothing, shiny, brilliant. But I'm convinced that from what I'm hearing and what I know about Quetzalcoatl and what I know about Kublai Khan and Viracocha, it was nothing but goodness and teaching goodness. And in fact, the story goes that the evil gods, didn't like Quetzalcoatl teaching the humans or these folks all this good stuff. And, he got pissed off because they were, against him. And he said, okay, I'm out of here, but I'll be back. So, no, but maybe I need to look into some of that stuff. All right, let's see. Oh, Mr. PH, you've made another comment. On restaurants where I once worked, a Swedish Bulgarian girl came to work, and then I was curious on her features, something familiar. Well, I got an image of the Ice Maiden, focusing on cheekbones and nose of her. Then I asked her, are you Inca? She gave a Disney big eye image and asked, how did you know that? I just said. She smiled, and we were buddies from that instant on. A secret few else knew. That is awesome. That is awesome. Super immune. The feathered serpent is also within us as well in the animal and planet kingdom. Alchemical hint. Absolutely. And in fact, everything is within us, right? Everything. All is within us. And we are within the all. There's no doubt about that. The rainbow body, yes, and that's Hero, absolutely. Rainbow light body. I believe there's a place in the Himalayas where the story of one of the monks hitting that level of enlightenment to where he even transfigured while putting his hand in the rock and infused his handprint inside of the rock. I believe that shit is real. And in fact, Jesus Christ activated his rainbow light body before he was ever crucified. So he was already, once again, we got these little tidbits and glimpses of these realities, so even Christ transfigured to the light body before he was ever crucified, right? And so we definitely have this evidence that exists throughout time of these things. I mean, Saint Germain, we can get talking about Saint Germain. Here's another dude who has shown up on the historic scene, the cosmic scene of teaching folks, said to have been with the founding fathers of America and signing the Declaration of Independence. Also said to have been, I think it's the Rosicrucians or one of the other teachings where they talk about he's a part of, one of the Light Brothers and whatnot. And so much deep stuff, so many things to consider. I tell people all the time, and some people just think, dude, you are crazy. But you know what it is? It's let's call it philosophy. We are philosophizing, these potential realities. And like the sun, everyone is given the idea. What is the first thing that everyone tells you about the sun, right? Probably when you were a kid, the first thing you learned about the sun in the sky was don't look at it. That's probably the first thing you were told. Don't stare at the sun. And it's a burning ball of fire to burn your eyes out. Man, there are people who are sun gazers and who absolutely stare at the sun. It doesn't harm them, and they are dialed in to receiving that cosmic energy. The sun, I am of the school of thought that all is life. The rocks are speaking to us. The land is speaking to us. Mother Earth is speaking to us. To not open your mind and your heart up to the realities that Earth is alive, the moon is alive, the sun is alive, conscious, and let's just say could be operating at a higher level than us. They are radiant and true and just hanging there and shining on us, right? Selfishly giving. Who knows what's going down? All I know is that it ain't what we've been told necessarily. Life is a mystery and a joy. So, all right, I have been talking now for an hour and 6 minutes. And like I have said in the last few live shows, didn't come with no big plans. Just wanted to talk with you folks and get this going. I would love to be doing more YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. It would be a wonderful thing if the universe said, "Hey, we're gonna make it possible for you to do this more." And I just got accepted into the YouTube partner program. I don't know much about it yet. I don't think I was shocked because I thought I was supposed to have 1,000 followers. I don't have 1,000 yet. So if you can help me get people to subscribe, that would be dope. And we'll come up with some cool stuff. These live things I'm doing, but I also like to put together other videos that are more professional and strung together. Again, let me know what you want to talk about, and also let me know if you know someone who wants to have me on their channel. So if you're connected with anyone who's got a channel and would like to have me as a guest, that'd be dope. And then of course I'm looking to have guests show up and chop it up with me and for us to share things with you guys. So all right, that's it. I think I'm gonna finish. I think this is how I finish. Listen, until we meet again somewhere deep within the cosmos. All right, see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe or like, whatever. God bless y'all. I'm of Old Norse and Finnish descent, so nature's world is well known to me in interest in ghosts and how animals see and feel things we don't. Amen. I'm definitely going to share with you. That'll probably be one of my next things. I'm going to share with you guys some real experiences of supernatural, or call it ghostly things, because it doesn't have to be scary. But I'm going to share that stuff with you. I'm out of here. I already said goodbye, but we will talk more. And thank you for watching.